But give it up for PJ, the Coug.
Now, didn't that feel better?
Woo!
Thanks again.
Your natural rhythm felt better.
For the record, I also did not make any phallic jokes. So when my ex-wife and I got together, I would always take selfies. We'd go do something fun, and I would take a selfie of us, and I would do this thing like hashtag love my wife, you know, picture of us on a ferry, or a picture of us at the top of the Space Needle. We couldn't afford to go to the top of the Space Needle. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, or at a Mariners game or something, it would always be hashtag love my wife, and I would tag her in the
Slow down.
the tweets. Okay, I would tag her in the tweets, and after about 5 years of this, she messages me one day because she realizes she's not been receiving notifications that I've been tagging her in all these tweets. Well, it turns out her Twitter handle was her maiden name, and I had been tagging a cousin who lives in Canada. Hashtag love my cousin. So I spent a couple hours deleting several dozen tweets, and I was talking to a coworker about it, and I told him this story, and he pulls out his phone, he immediately starts looking her up, and he says, "You could do worse." And I thought, you know, that's your takeaway from this? That's what you do? Actually, she's kind of cute. So anyway, a few years ago, my racist aunt did 23andMe, and her results came back, and one of her results was that she was 2.25% sub-Saharan African. And she called 23andMe to demand a recount. I didn't even know you could call 23andMe. She called 23andMe demanding a recount, and they told her some rubbish thing about how maybe somebody in your family had just been there and like I guess like got the Africa in them or something like that. You know, that's not how that works. So anyway, about a year later, I did 23andMe, and I came back 1.125% sub-Saharan African, exactly half of what she was. And she messaged me and said, "Paul, I don't trust this technology. It says you may be my half-brother." And I told her, well, my whole father was your whole brother, so that actually maths out. But I did a side-by-side comparison of our DNA, and I circled the sub-Saharan African, and I said, "This does make you my sister." So, for all my math nerds out there, that may have been cultural appropriation, but it's only 97.75% cultural appropriation.
Bravo.
Thank you. My therapist says that some of the reasons that I may take risks at work is because of over confidence or complacency, or maybe just like an attempt to get some kind of social recognition from my coworkers. That's a total lie. I'm a Gen X. I don't have a therapist. Any parents out here? Okay. You love your kids? So, I was raised in the church, and I grew up being told that God told Abraham to murder his son as a show of faith. And I can just tell you right now, if you have kids, you'll understand this. If a voice told me to kill one of my children as a show of faith, I would tell that voice to go fuck itself. And if it's God who can do anything, he could do it. And maybe he'd stop getting all the virgins pregnant. Okay. I saved that one from Easter. I was going to do it at Easter, and I decided not to. Anyway, have a great night, everybody. Thank you very much.
Give it up one more time for PJ the Coug. Proving that a dick joke doesn't necessarily have to be phallic in nature. You can just be a dick. Different options. Or in your case, it was a typo. You made a duck joke, which to me is a dick joke. So, on deck, guys, your last comic of the evening. Please give it up for Mike Heath.